Hello, friends. We are now here with yet another edition of Fellowship Varta, and today we have a meeting with Dr. Satvik Mareedu, who is currently in US. Uh, Satvik, if I could request you to share us, our viewers, on your academic journey.
Sure. Sir. First of all, thank you for this opportunity, sir. It is a great pleasure to discuss about my academic journey. So a lot of peers would be like, at least few of them could reach to it, and maybe it might be helpful for their academic progress. So technically, by as a school kid, I was a science enthusiast, like doing some kind of projects or something. I haven't done anything amazing, but always had that science gene. But however, in Indian society, it is basically either an engineer or a doctor, at least in the 90s kids, I would say.
Even today.
That is one of the biggest thing, like a kid should be only like a engineer or a doctor, because that they are considered as pride of the nation, kind of professions. So I had a gap year after my intermediate, where I had to crack my dental admit. I got a free admit in dental school in Andhra Pradesh. So I did 5 years of dentistry. But
Yeah.
however, I kept on like having that zeal towards
So you
science.
did it from NTR Dental College.
So it is actually the health university. Dr. NTR Health University is the university, but I did it in under CSIR Institute of Dental Sciences,
Okay.
which is a private institute. Because OP wise, I chose that would be a better option. I could not get into the government school, but the next private option that was close to my hometown was CSIR, so I chose that during my counseling process. But
How did
however,
you
due
move forward?
yeah, go ahead.
How did you move forward beyond your graduation, undergraduation?
Beyond graduation, I wanted to add a small note. I used to attend various conferences, like with the help of my school principal and the head HODs. They like very much motivated us to attend various conferences. Then one strong, like even though I had science research passion, uh, I could not do much, because in most of the dental or medical schools, maybe in Andhra, maybe to certain extent in other states, they hardly have the research like
Component.
component or activities going on in the school. Most of them, like because we have community dental health or something like that, we used to do a lot of surveys, camps, where we directly interacted with the patients or the public, but how awareness camps and everything. But however, the research component is very, very less. When I attended a state conference, the chief guest was from Karnataka. Then he mentioned, uh, like, do you know how many researchers, like, how many clinicians become research, or how much collaboration they have? It's not even 0.5%. That, like, it was like a strong boost to me. Like, maybe,
Yeah.
like, after continuing this career, I should be doing something or dedicate myself towards research. This happened in my second year. From then onwards, it was like a triggering response, like, yeah, you should do research rather than stay in clinics. I was good at clinics, but somehow I felt maybe not everyone is into research. At least if I could stand and move to research, maybe 1 out of 100. Like in my batch of 100 undergrad friends, I'm the only one who has done a PhD and moved to like pure basic science research. I can count like numbers even in my juniors
Can
or
you
seniors.
tell us about your further course beyond that?
So after BDS, I don't have proper guidance, because most of my network was in dentistry, and I wanted to do something like stem cell biology at that point. Then 2-3 generation was one of my strong intention. With great reference from my brother-in-law, I was able to get a guest researcher at CCMB. That's the first step into research. I can literally state it's like learning ABCD in research. I don't even know what a pipette is. I don't even know anything in research. I don't know
CCMP
what
is a
an
great
appendoff is also.
institution.
Yeah, that was a premier lab, and I started in a stem cell lab in the first shot. you literally, there were a lot of ups and downs because I don't know anything. It is like learning each and everything from the basics. So the first thing I did, pipetting milky water into Eppendorf's 1 ml, because even pipetting skills are like pretty bad with me because we never use them.
Sure, sure, sure.
And research associate there, the JRF over there, he initially gave me 2 plates and said isolate RNA. I got good that 260 by 280 value. Oh, do the rest. You have good hand skill. So that was a cherishing moment for me in those days back in 2013. With that experience, I tried to apply for PhD, but however, maybe I didn't plan it well or didn't apply. I couldn't go through. And usually in PhD in US, the cycles are yearly ones for most of the medium to top schools. So you have it every August. The application cycle starts, and the application cycle closes by December. And you have usually the interviews from Jan end or Jan mid to February. So by March only you will get to know whether you are rejected or waitlisted or something. And to my knowledge, I didn't get any response from any of them. So it means like I was like literally rejected for all the applications I sent, because at that point I was not sure should I do a master's or a PhD. Then immediately applied for a master's, and then I got for 3 to 4 institutes, and Rutgers was one, Texas A&M Health was
Did you
one,
get any
and
fellowship for
another.
doing master?
So for Texas, I got teaching assistantship. The thing was, even in Texas A&M, because I did a BDS, which is considered as a professional bachelor's, not like a regular. They rejected my application itself. They said you're not qualified. Then I spoke to the track director, like, and he said, like, yeah, I'll get you a conditional admit. Give me a couple of days. I got conditional admit in like 2 days, and within a week to 10 days, I got TA informal email that I'm selected for TA ship. Means it was a fully funded. But fate had a different story. Like my dental school in India had a collaboration with the Rutgers Dental School here. So I had a couple of recommenders in the school already. So they said, come over here. It's a diverse background, and that changed. I started preparing paperwork for Texas A&M for visa and everything. And suddenly, last minute, they said, like, think about Rutgers, kind of. And I had to change my direction to Rutgers. Actually, I rejected a good offer. Maybe I would have been in a different situation, because the director worked on induced pluripotent stem cells into cardiac back in 2014. Means that was a different experience, which I had to forego and move to Rutgers. But still, it was a good experience, I would say. I did masters in biomedical sciences with stem cell biology as a concentration during my masters. Because I lack research experience, trust me, I did 3 rotations in my masters. 3 rotations. Like from day one, like school started on September 2nd. And that same day I started research in a lab because I was very much into it. At that point, stem cells was the only thing in mind. Like because back from dentistry, what I know from stem cells is tooth regeneration. That was a big thing. Then slowly I thought, like, if you have a pain, like for example, you have a cardiac pain versus a tooth pain, the public usually goes for cardiac pain first, because that is more attention needed, or people either neglect or they don't care much about the oral pain unless until it is like a emergency situation. So then I thought maybe I have to focus on something different than oral biology. So that made me think maybe I have to move out of oral biology and work on something else. And other thing I noticed is, for example, most of the research, this was over the time. Uh, the research that is done in cancer is the highest. All the things that are identified or discovered in cancer, then they try to apply in neurobiology or cardiobiology. And oral biology is somewhere at the bottom where least is being done. For example, I have learned a lot of techniques during my graduate career, but the same techniques which a dentist or oral researcher could do will be very restricted. So then I
I think,
initially
Satvik,
started.
the lesson we can take from your story is
Yes,
don't become prisoner of your choices or earlier choices.
yes,
Do what your heart says, follow your passion, go for a science which may be new, maybe a diversified, but something you are more curious about, something you are looking more to contribute.
yes.
Tell
So
me,
that made
Satvik,
me.
Satvik,
Yeah.
tell me, besides the academics which you did you do any voluntary work in US?
So during my masters, I dedicated most of the time to research, sir, because experience was a lack for me, and for me to move to the next step, such as a PhD, I felt it is not sufficient. So literally, as I mentioned, I worked on IPSC during my master's lab rotation, where we have here level 4 closures because I am into the northeast corridor. We have snowstorms. So on a snowstorm day, they declare as level 4 closure, means the school is closed. But still, because the cells have to survive, we have to change media. Back in 2014, those were the initial days of the induced pluripotent stem cell. People have been working on it. So it took us like we have to change every alternative days or every day. So irrespective of the weather conditions, we used to come and do it. But however, in once I got into the PhD admit, so because I already am aware with the labs here, I thought the facilities are good enough. I tried to apply for Rutgers, and I also applied for a couple of other. I didn't go for really big institutes because of I got to know maybe I have to already am adjusted with the facilities over here. I continued doing my PhD back in Rutgers. I got a couple of interviews, but however, I think I got only one acceptance other than Rutgers. So maybe my profile was not fully qualified because still I don't have a publication at that point to completely state or show my maturity level of research. In PhD, again, I have done 3 rotations and finally confirmed one of the lab based on some of my requirements. Only
Yes.
after getting there, I started doing some voluntary work. Like, so during PhD, I took, because I took stem cell biology course during my master's and experience, I was offered to do TA for stem cell biology course during my PhD.
Mhm.
So I have done for almost 2 semesters TAing, where I was like a teaching assistant for the coursework. So if the students have any queries or something, they can reach out to me for asking for explanation or something like that. And the same time, we received an email from, because being a Rutgers student, it comes under the tri-state like New York, Philadelphia, and Connecticut, New Jersey region. So this is called the tri-state region. And here there are some organizations, and one of them is New York Academy of Sciences, where I came across after mentoring program, like for school kids, these young researchers, like students who are interested in volunteering, they'll be getting some kind of guidance or training, like how they have to behave with the kids and what are the things they have to teach. Like they will be getting a kind of presentation. This is the guide you need to follow when you are dealing with the high school kids.
I think
So
this is something not in India. So in India, I haven't seen such program for
I
the
think
school
there
kids.
are few places, sir. For example, CCMB has an open day. Like
No,
I'm
that is
giving you an
different.
example.
Open day is 1 day
Where,
exercise.
yeah, where every school kid can access without any issues.
No, no, that
So
is only for 1 day. But
one day.
what you are
But I
saying
think
is
being
more
a
of a
dentist,
period.
yeah, being a dentist, and I am from Andhra, right? I never had an access to such days. Till unless until I joined CCMB, I didn't even knew such things.
Yeah,
Like maybe even in India, we are not still aware.
yeah,
But I think nowadays, people are trying to send high school kids for summer research programs. I think it
yeah.
slowly started in few institutes, I would
Satvik,
say.
I think we need to be cautious of the time
Yeah,
because these are,
sure, sure.
yeah. So, okay. Now, let me ask you one more act of voluntarism. You see, there are a lot of student movement from India to US, and then there is a lot of anxiety over there, what I should do, what I should not do, and then should I come back? So, first tell me, what are your suggestions for the future aspirants who are looking for US to study? Uh, what suggestion you would like to give them both at master level, doctoral level, and postdoctoral level? And if you have any suggestion for fellows who are already there and willing to return to India.
So I have recently joined a couple of years back during my end of my grad life. I joined a program called CSIR, which is a volunteer association. Why I was stating that is only through that I came across few things. For example, Khurana Scholars Program. I was not even aware of such programs, and only then I got to know that when you are in an undergrad school, and before getting into CCMB, also I got to know by the time I started my tenure in CCMB, I was already graduated. So once you are graduated from any institute, you don't have any internship opportunities. You can do internship only during when you are in your third year, fourth year. So there are opportunities in India as well as abroad. Like IISc has its own
Yeah,
summer research program where you can do for 3 months, 6 months.
yeah,
You have to approach a professor. Similarly, for various big institutes like CSIR, like CCMB and others, they have these kind of internship programs. And not only in India, even in abroad, you can come. Like, for example, the Kurana Scholars Program, which I was totally not aware of, where you can even do your thesis abroad in a lab which you are interested in. Maybe not everyone has that access. I would suggest, unless until you write an email to anyone, you don't know what they're going to say. Maybe you might get a no. It's okay. At least you received some response. So I would say maybe look for such opportunities. And I also appreciate the help you do where you like post in a lot of posts regarding the various fellowships that are available for Indian students abroad in US, Europe, and any other places like Australia. So that is a good opportunity where you can start. Your living expenses will be paid, and you also will get a small portion of stipend which will be helpful, and you will get a diversified atmosphere where you can state of art facilities, may it be India or US. Trying such kind will encourage to build your profile, uh, because I said I after my BDS I wanted to test myself whether I'll be a fit for research. Will bench research work for me or not? Maybe that is the reason you have to test yourself. Are you a good fit for that particular profession? Because not everything is everyone's cup of tea. It might not blend well with your
yeah.
career progress. That will be a good start for you. And similarly, even during masters you have such programs where you can do part of your thesis or your entire your thesis with a collaborative lab your boss has.
I think internship is growing attention in all Indian courses now, and time has much changed, and a lot of people are being given independent questions to
Yes.
address by themselves so that they had a first feeling how to generate knowledge and find answers.
Yeah.
So a lot of work is being done in that directions. Uh,
And during masters also, I would recommend them to do a thesis project, because there are some masters where you need not do thesis.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
only when you do a thesis project during your PhD interview, what I would personally suggest, making a poster out of your thesis work. Show that this is the work I have done. Even if you got an interview over Zoom, request the panel, can I share my research? They would be happy to listen to you. Maximum they're gonna say, yeah, we don't have time. It's okay, but at least you gave it a try. Without giving a try, thinking that it might not work is the biggest thing which we have. We are hesitant to do or state something.
Yeah,
Maybe I
I
would say
think
these would help
in
you a
interest
lot.
of time, I would like to close it. And
Yeah, sure.
thank you, Satvik. Your journey tells a lot of good things. Say, like lot of our students have a stigma that coming from private colleges, that to unknown colleges within India, outside their own region, they have a lot of reservations. They are not very a lot of apprehension also that could they go, and also the second good thing. about you is that you did not give up despite rejections, despite making one more attempt, one more attempt. This is really the spirit of research. This is how one could grow. And if you feel that you are right on your point, like you did with Texas, that you explain them why you are eligible, and once they realize it, they consider it. So
Yes.
many a time in our own system, in Indian system, sometimes it is very difficult to discuss even with the admission office because it's only one-way traffic. But in US and in many other places, it's rather open. Friends, there are opportunities. We need to be aware. We need to continuously work for that. And as Satvik mentioned, that your contact will help. You should write to them, as he has suggested. And maybe if you write 10 mail, you get only 2 responses, but don't get discouraged. World is full of opportunity, and unless you make an attempt, it will not come.
Another thing I would like to say also, sir, make that email more concise to that person. Don't copy paste the same email, because
No, it has to be
the
individual.
people we are sending an email, they have tons of experience. They know whether you randomly sent an email, or have you done some homework, what their research is, have you read their publications. And also another thing, because you asked about this, there is some website called NIH Reporter, at least for US I'm stating, and
Yeah.
even for American Heart Association, because I'm a cardiac person, and recently I received a fellowship from it for postdoctoral fellowship. We can search the professor's name and see what their current grant funding status
In
is.
fact,
So it
this
is
is
publicly available.
yeah. In fact, this is very, very important. You need to ensure that you have done enough to market yourself. And how you can do it, you read the strength of the laboratory you are applying to and make why you can contribute in that lab. So that is very important. And on that note, we would like to close. Thank you. Have a good evening. And we look forward.